interviewees to you. And second, my team members will analyze our survey on 3 different aspects respectively, including education, dining, and conversation. And last is the conclusion and Q&A time. Let's start with the first part, introduction of interviewees. And we interviewed 14 foreigners in total. And as you can see in the bar chart, this reveals the continents where interviewees are from. And America takes the first place because we interviewed 4 Americans and 2 Guatemalans. And Asia also take up a large proportion because we interviewed 5 interviewees. And last is Europe, and where 3 interviewees are from. And to be more detailed, this world map shows the interviewees' nationalities, and which include 10 different countries. And as you can see, it includes Germany, Hong Kong, and so on. And based on the gender, our male interviewees account for 70%, and which is twice of the female. And here are some photos that taken during the interview.
In our first part, cultural difference is about education. Let's go ahead to question 1. And the question 1 is, what time did you go to school and when do classes end in your senior high school? According to this table, and you can see the Europe, their school time is from 8 a.m. to 12 o'clock. And in USA, their school time is from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. In Asian country, their school time is longest. Their school time is from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can see the difference. The Europe is the shortest. The USA is the secondary. And the Asian country is the longest. And you may feel wonder why their school time is shorter than us. So let's analyze the reason. And according to our interviewees, and the interviewees from Europe and USA, they give some reason about the question. And first, let's think. Learning from interviewees from USA and Europe, they think learning from should not be limited on classroom. So they have various extracurricular activities held after school time. And next, they have less required courses are less than once in Asia. So, but by contrast, in Asian country, schools squeeze many subjects into curriculum schedule. So they have not lots of required classes, such as mathematics, Chinese, and second language, geography, or history. But in Western country, there will be elective courses. They will not require courses. And one special point, and I think our Asian country, our environment is more competitive than Western country. It may result from our intensive competitive mentality. We are afraid to get lost from others. So our school cut down our leisure time and our entertainment and prolong our school time in school. And then the question 2, did you have elective courses in senior high school? And 85% people say yes, they have elective courses. And according to their answer, these courses are diverse. And you can see such as psychology, computer science, engineer, repairing, and geography, Chinese history, woodworking, and photography. And you can focus on these special such as photography or maybe woodworking. And this answer is from the Western country because they have more elective courses than our Asian country. And you can see the Chinese history, and it is from the Vietnam. Yeah, because they are influenced by our Chinese culture. So so not only from their Vietnam culture, they also learn the Chinese history. And the question 3 is how long is the lunch break in your high school? And according to this bar chart, and you can see on average, their lunch break is about 60 minutes. It's called an hour, 1 hour. But you can see the Germany, the interviewees, because they are after school at 12 o'clock, so they don't have lunch break. I think they have a day to plan their plan, to plan their activities. So they are after school at 12 o'clock, so they don't have the lunch break. And in other countries, it's from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. It's on average, not too much difference. And the question 4. The student need to clean their classroom and restaurant by themselves. And according to our survey, about 28% interviewees, they need to clean their campus on themselves. And according to their opinion, this interviewee's nationality almost Asian country. Hong Kong, and they are from Hong Kong, Japan, Vietnam, and Malaysia. They have to clean their campus by themselves, and I think it makes our quite different from Western country. And question 5: how many different types of club are there in your high school? And we divide this club into three genres, and you can see the first genre is sport, and second is art and academic. And I use some color on the list, and you can see, and the blue color is from America, and the brown color is from Turkey. The green color is from Japan. The red is from Guatemala. And I choose something special to explain for everyone. And you can see the brown color is in Turkey. So they have fencing club, and they have horseback riding, equestrian. Yeah. This course is very rare in our Taiwan environment. And you can see the Guatemala. Guatemala was former Spanish colony, so they have many cathedrals, and so they have the choirs in their country. And those songs are also Christian songs like Missa or hymns. And you can see, and America is quite different. They have their jazz band or magazine writing club. As for Japan, they are influenced by the Chinese culture, so they have the calligraphy club in their country. Okay, next question. And question 6: how often do the tests take in high school? And how long did you spend on your homework in senior high school? And you can see this country: USA, Germany, and they all answer me about the same question. They have 1 quiz per week. But in Hong Kong, Japan, Vietnam, Malaysia, or Turkey, they have more than 1 times. Almost Hong Kong and Japan say almost every class, and Vietnam and Malaysia have 4 times or even more. So they have more burden than the European country and USA. And next, how long did you spend on your homework? On average, they also answer 1 hour to 2 hours is enough. But for the Western country, they have spent more than 1 hour and 2 hours. Their time spent on the homework is 2 or 3 hours, and even longer.
Okay, the question 7: are students required to wear their uniforms in your countries?
uniform. The 4 people say they don't have to do it, and the other 4 people say they have to do or not to wear the uniform depend on their schools. We have the intriguing phenomenon from our survey. Most of the students in our survey say they have to wear the uniform comes from Asia, like Malaysia, Hong Kong, Japan, and Vietnam, and only 2 of them from Guatemala and USA. But however, there are none of them that they say they don't have to wear the uniform and come from Asia. And the others come from Portugal, Turkey, and Czech say that they depend on schools, have some difference. In Turkey, they have to wear the uniforms in public school, and they don't have to wear the uniform in private school, but it is totally opposite in Portugal and Czech. Question 8. Is it popular for students to attend cram school after school? There are 7 people say they don't have to go to the cram school, and the Portugal students say they have few cram school only for the people who always get low grades. And the 5 students say they have to go to cram school. Japanese students say that she knows that almost everyone go to the cram school in her countries. And the Turkey students come from Turkey say that there are many cram school in his country, as popular as Taiwan. Question 9. How much do you spend on tuition fees? To our surprise, there are many students don't have to pay for their tuition fees in their high school. For example, in Hong Kong, they don't have to pay the fees because the Chinese government implement the 12 years mandatory education. And we can see that the private school in the USA have the most expensive tuition fees, about 300,000 NT dollars for 1 year. Question 10. What is the percentage of international students in your school? The yellow part is someone who forget the numbers. The green part say they have non-international students in their school because they are studying in local schools. Only the blue part, about 7% students say they have few international students in their schools. And part 2 is the dining and table manners part. Question 1. Does your country need to give tips after dining? There are 35.7% say yes, and they are come from Czech, USA, Guatemala, and Vietnam, and Turkey. They say they always spend almost 10% to 20% to be nice, but it's not mandatory. And if you are the student in the Turkey, you don't have to pay the tips.
And the second question is, what kind of tableware do people in your country use the most? And not to our surprise, that most countries in Europe and America that we call the Western countries, they use fork and knives. And for Asian countries, they usually use chopsticks and sometimes spoons or scissors. And question 3, what time do the restaurants in your country open and close? So in Asia, the restaurants usually start at 10 a.m. in the morning and open up all the way to 9 p.m. in the night. And in the US, they start from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And in Europe, the stores usually have 2 time periods. For lunchtime, it's 12 to 2 p.m. And for dinner, it's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. The fourth question, what are the table manners in your country? And the leading one is eat with your mouth closed. And the 14 interviewees, seven of them mentioned this. So we think that this is quite a, maybe it is a common sense for people to pay attention to this. And others include don't chew loudly, don't put your elbows on the table, and prepare a napkin and tissue, and also don't use phone when you're dining, especially when you're hanging out with friends. The fifth question, does your country have night markets or similar places like that? 53.8% of the interviewees answered yes. And for instance, in Japan, when they have festivals, they usually also establish night markets. And in Malaysia, when it's near to New Year, they also have night markets. And for 46.2% of interviewees, they said no. But they have stands or food stands that also sell food, but it's not exactly same as night market. And for the sixth question, we invited them to share with us their special dishes or ingredients that they commonly use in their food. For Czech, they have a lot of wheat, and so they make bread and eat with potato and pork. In Hong Kong, they have dim sum and pineapple bread. And sushi. Japan is quite famous for their sushi. In Vietnam, you can see ginger, lemongrass, and fish sauce in their dishes. From Portugal, they consume a lot of olive oil and fish and meat. For Guatemala, they eat tortilla, corn, and beans on the daily basis.
So now the question 7 is, how would you describe your country's cuisine? And with these 5 different types of cultures or countries on the slides. And the first is Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam or Malaysia. They describe their cuisine as spicy or sour. And we all know that Vietnam or Malaysia, they like to add a lot of spice or chili into their cooking. And next is Czech. And they describe their cuisine as oily because they like to add a lot of olive oil into their cooking. They also like to choose the ingredients that is enriched of oil. And the next is Japan. And they mention the soy sauce. Of course, they love soy sauce very much. They have soy sauce ramen and they eat with soy sauce a lot. So it's a most important favorite in their daily life. And next is America. And they describe their country's cuisine as a melting pot. And we all know that in America, they have a lot of immigrants from all over the world, and they bring their own country's cuisine to America. Like we can see the burrito from Mexico, and the sushi from Japan, the pizza from Italy. So the American, they describe their cuisine as a melting pot, a mix of different cultures. And last is Hong Kong. They mentioned the dim sum that we talked about in the last slide. It's a kind of dessert that is fried or steamed, like the steamed dumplings or shao mai. And comes to the part 3, conversations, food and manner. The question 1 is, if you meet a stranger in your country, what kind of topic do you try to avoid? And this question, the interviewees can answer several answers. And 9 of them answer the politics, 4 answer the religion, 2 answer sports, 3 answer the personal topics, and 4 answer the others. And from the chart, we can see that the politics is a universal taboo, because when talk about the politics, we often fight over that what candidate is the best. So in not only the Eastern country, but also the Western country, they try to avoid the topics about the politics. And the difference between the Eastern and Western countries is the sports. Like in Eastern countries, we seldom fight over the sports. However, in some Western countries like Guatemala, and in Guatemala, if the 2 people from different cities, they want to have a great friendship with each other, and they will avoid about talking the sports, especially the football. Because if they support the different teams, the conversation will end up in a fight. And also have some other topics like the World War II in Germany. And we all know that the World War II history is a stain in Germany history, like the massacre on Jews or the invasion in Europe, so they try to avoid kind of topics in Germany. And the second question is, when interacting with the elders, what do you need to do to show the respect? And tell them, answer that, talk patiently and politely. Is like talk more slowly and listen to them carefully, or use the formal words? And 5 of them answer, help them with daily stuff. It's like help them do the dishes, hold the door for them, or help them across the street, such as considerate behaviors. And 3 of them answer others, like speak louder, because the elders may not have a good hearing, or the eye contact, or like not to use the foreign words, because the elders may not know the foreign words. So I think in this question, the Eastern country is the same as the Western country. Like we need to be polite and patiently interacting with the elders. And then question 3 is, what kind of gestures or poses you should avoid when you are talking to others? And in the pie chart, we can find that 64% of the interviewees answer the middle finger, and the rest of them answer some other gestures from their cultures. And some other gestures is like in Portugal, when you touch your elbow with your hands like this, it means a kind of jealous. And in the Turkey, if you put your thumb between your forefinger and your middle finger, it's like a kind of mean to sex with your mom. So it's very insulting. Also in Malaysia, they try to find out others with the index finger. And question 4, do you use honorifics when you have conversations with other people? And 64% of people answer yes, and the rest answer no. And from the people that answer yes, like the people in Guatemala, when they're interacting with the elders in their home, they use Mr. or Madam to call them. And when interacting with the stranger or both, they'll use different honorifics. Also in Portugal, they use different honorifics when interacting with boss or elders, teachers, or strangers. And the rest of them answer no. Their countries do not require them to use the honorifics. However, they still need to be polite and use the formal words when talking to others. And question 5 is, does your country have any popular internet slang? And in this slide, we have 3 different countries' internet slang. The first is from the Vietnam, and it sounds like Chan Yu Kong Jan, and it means it's to describe something is so boring. And this word is for die. It means to give us something. And the second is the internet slang from Hong Kong. It means die, left to die. And 3, the third line is the internet slang from Malaysia. First is kacau. It means don't disturb me. Second is put airplane. It means like someone promised you, but they cannot make it. And third word is chin cai. It means like whatever, and it's kind of same words in Taiwanese. And as its conclusion, let's give back to the kids.
And let me talk about our conclusion. And based on the survey, we find out a not surprising fact, and that is although there are many differences among different countries, however there are many similarities. And the most obvious difference lies in the East and the West, and this may result from the history. And through this survey, we have more deeper understanding of the different cultures, and it also dawned on us that we need to keep broaden our horizon to keep on this changing world. And this is our presentation. Thank you.
Now it's the Q&A time.
Good. So can we start with any questions or comments?
Which interviewees impressed you the most or surprised you the most?
I think it's the interviewees from Germany, and I think he's very kind of nervous, and like when we interview, he just keep thinking and just talking too fast. Already he just have have to be hurry because he has something to do next.
Good.
Which country, if you can, which country do you most want to go to experience their high school life?
I think, to me, I think it's U.S. because I think U.S. is when I interview some American, and I think their high school life are like well open, and they have many elective courses and have many extracurricular activities. So I want to enjoy it.
For me, I think it's same. I would like to have a high school life with more electives or more free time after school that I can plan what I want to do.
Does any of your interviewees mention which subject do they learn in cram school?
One of the interviewee I asked was from Turkey, and she said that the education system was exactly the same as Taiwan. So they need to have tests to enter college. So I think in the cram school they're teaching like the academic stuff, the same as Taiwan.
Good. So any others?
Why do you want to extend life or the high school life, or maybe it's a very specific issue, so why do you want to ask these academic questions?
Because we think that the East and the West education system or the courses are very different, so we want to like have a more different understanding of their school life.
And you say that for European countries, they may well have many free time and they will do some leisure activities. So what leisure activities they may do after class?
They will hang out with their friends or play the soccer together, or even they have more various extracurricular, and at the same time they will go home and have a big deal with their family. So I think they focus more relationship between their friends and between their family. And but in Taiwan or in Asian country, we are prolong our school time. So and among situation, we are study at school and we lost the time with our friends, with our family, and it's a quite difference between the cultural difference.
Good. So any others? Yeah, I think so. Since one of your focus is education, so I wonder if the interviewees ever mentioned to you about any difference they find in the learning or teaching styles between the schools in Taiwan and the schools in their own countries.
For learning style, interviewee in Guatemala told us that his classmates from Taiwan, he thinks that they are all smart, but they still attend cram school even when they're at their master degrees. So he thinks that it's kind of unusual. Yeah, he thinks that they are good enough and they don't need to push themselves too much to go to cram school. That's the way.
Good. So any others? You guys want to make comments, or if there's anything you want to say about the topic? Just
I think that's a pretty good presentation.
so why do you think it's a good presentation?
I think the overall layout at least is better than my layout.
Yeah, thank you for the compliment. All right, so Thank you very much. All right, everyone. So now we will take